in mind if you're going to do an animation, if you're going to put it on, like, so let's say high definition TV, it would be under File, New, and actually those are built into it. If you go to where it says Profile in Illustrator, you'll see there is one for film and video right here. If you click on film and video, you'll notice you have different sizes here where it says size, and the most common would be the HD 1080 right here, which would be 1920 by 1080, which is high definition. Okay, so if you are going to make some artwork and you're going to bring it into, let's say, Adobe Premiere or After Effects, and you're going to mix it with a video, it's good to start with the dimensions. Now, the problem with starting here is that it tends to give you these grid lines. You might not like them, so if I hit OK right now, you're going to see, you know, this stuff. It's all square, and it has this blue line, these green lines, and it's kind of confusing. So I usually don't like that because these lines are kind of conflicting. Basically, these lines are used by video. The outside line is what's called frame safe. When old televisions used to stretch the screen bigger than the visible area, and so this outside line right here would be like the edge of the TV screen, but today's monitors, you see everything. This was called title safe, so this line, the inside line, would be don't put your titles past this line so that they don't touch the edge. Okay, so but today's TV go all the way to the edge now. So this was like old TV. So I'm not going to use that. If I was going to do it though, I might say File, New, and I can not use this preset, but just type in my own. I might just say Web here or something else, and then type in my 1920 px by 1080 px, and then if I just hit OK, you'll see I get a nice big white artboard. And I'm going to just cheat and paste that rabbit that I copied. There he is. And then I'm going to convert him into an object by going, of course, underneath the image trace and convert it into a color. Not too many colors. And let's get rid of the white. Remember, ignore white. And let's trace. And there we go. Okay, I cheated. I know I did. We have a rabbit. He's not beautiful. There is another one I have. If you were going to steal like I just did, that was fine. But what if I wanted this rabbit? Of course, this rabbit is actually from a still image I stole off the internet. But I wanted this rabbit all by itself. How I could do that is by using Photoshop to cut out this rabbit. I'm going to use my polygon lasso tool. So if you don't know how to use Photoshop, most of the tools are called selection tools. So in this case, I could use the polygon lasso tool and kind of go around this rabbit. If I wanted to go around this rabbit in Photoshop, I'm going to just use the, like I said, the polygon lasso, and I'm just going to go quickly around it. Could also use the magnetic lasso. But I could go round, stealing. I'm doing this very fast. You should get used to making selections. I do this all the time. When I do photography, I often have to cut things out or alter them. And so I tend to use the selection tools a lot. So again, I'm going to just go all the way around this rabbit here. And once he's selected, go all the way back to the beginning. I can copy that by using Command C on the keyboard. Go over to my Illustrator and hit Command V. Oh, wrong one. Where is, I didn't copy him. Copy, Command C. No. Copy. Copy? Copy merged? I can't copy this? Why can't I copy? No? There he is. Okay. I just had to copy again.
Command C.
Yeah, Command copy, whatever. Command C, and then went over to Illustrator, Command V. Then I could take this one and make him into an object. I could cheat again. Let's do color, and let's say image trace. Oh, we should have said ignore white. image trace. Let me undo that. Ignore white. Color, image trace. Whoosh! He's ugly bunny. I should have used a little bit more colors. Whatever, that's just the point. Another thing I'm going to cheat, so let's have rabbit. We'll have 2 rabbits. Let me make this one a little smaller. Actually, this one's there's too many objects in here. That's gonna cause problems. I'm gonna actually just duplicate this one, and then let's rotate them around. There he is. So both O's will have bunnies popping up. Then we'll cheat some more, and I'll add some symbols. So what's in there? Nature symbols, right? Nature. There we go. So maybe we have some. Isn't there flowers in here somewhere? Do you see a flower? No. Nature. Flowers. There we go. It's springtime. There we go. So let's cheat. We'll put some flowers out here. I'm gonna cheat. Put some flowers out. Maybe duplicate those. Maybe change some size. We'll make them a little bigger. And this one. And maybe make a little lake for the. Looks like a lotus, isn't it? Yeah, it's a lotus. So let's draw a color. And let's make that blue. There we go. And then let's have another field. We'll make that green. Whoosh! Boy, that's ugly. And then, so I just need some artwork on there. So I'm just going to quickly just build some stuff here. And then, of course, we need to have our text for Google Doodle. And so let's put in some text. You can choose a font if you want, something a little bit nicer than this. But, you know, usually they don't, you know, they integrate the font with the artwork. So I'll probably do something like that. What do we want? Something, oh no, that's horrible. That's better. I need, if I could change the font, oh, how about Angry Birds? There we go. And then I'm going to break this font up into objects by using type create outlines. And then I can color it, move it, distort it. I might let me distort it if I could get my layers here. Layers. So I have a bunch of artwork already. Let's move some layers around. We'll put this on the background here. Take this down here. We'll call this one Bunny 1, and we'll call this one Bunny 2. So I have 2 bunnies. Let's put them on their own layer because we want to animate them. So I'm going to make some new layers. Right now I have 1 layer. Let's call this background. And let's make a new layer. So you can make as many layers as you want. We're going to call this one Bunny 1. And we'll move the bunny into that one. And I'll make another layer called Bunny 2. Bunny 2, and we'll move the other bunny into that. So let's put our text all in 1 layer. We'll call this text. And we'll move our text into that. And then let's lock the background for right now so we can manipulate the text a little bit. So let's move our bunnies out of the way for right now. We don't need them there. Out of the way. Out of the way. Oh, that's locked already. Good. So let's manipulate some of the text a little bit. I'm just going to stretch some of the points up a little bit. Whoosh. There we go. And then we can color them different colors because we don't want them all to be... Oh, they're all grouped together, aren't they? Ungroup them. Then I can select them and color them. We need some Easter colors. How about yellow? I do like this pink though. Pink. Light blue. Easter egg colors. Orange. Okay, so Easter egg colors. Probably need to make these a little wider so our bunny can show up inside there. So I'm going to move things around. Let's put our E over here. Put our L up here. We can move things down there. And then to make this wider, I'm going to stretch it a little bit. There we go. Let's move our G over here. And let's stretch this one. There we go. So we have these big O's. And then we're going to have our bunny come up from underneath there. He's going to be under here, and then we'll have him animate up and be inside there. So we can put the text above so we can see what it'll look like. There we go. How about that? And then maybe take this one. There we go. And then let's move some stuff around here. Put our lotus flower there. If my flowers are going to animate, I need to put them on their own layer, so I'm going to make a new layer for flowers. And I'm going to take the flowers and put them on there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Maybe move those above the text. And then in order for the bunny to kind of pop up from underneath there, I need to have a kind of a blue mask for the bunny to be underneath. So I'm going to make one more layer, and I'm going to call it blue mask. And a mask is just kind of an area that can hide it, so I'm going to make a blue mask. I'm going to actually duplicate this rectangle here. Actually, I can move this. Maybe I could just use this rectangle. There we go. And there we go. Something like that. So it's actually covering the bunny before he animates up. So he'll come up there. There he is. And let's move the green. Let's move these up just a hair. Move this up just a hair. Okay. And we'll have the flowers. Let's move those a little bit as well. Down here maybe. And then be nice if we had something back here. Should we have some clouds moving? Do you want clouds to sort of go across the screen?
How did you get the letters to be individual objects?
To break text up, you go under Type,
Okay.
Create Outlines.
Okay.
Create Outlines right there. Do you want some clouds? Should we do clouds?
Sure.
I think so. I don't remember how to make clouds though. Pencil, I guess. Pencil. Pencil. Where's the pencil? Pencil. There it is. Pencil. So if you remember, we can make clouds like this, and then give it a color. And then how did we do it? Oh, we blurred it. I don't know if a blur is going to come over. Some things do not come over to an animation program. Some things like effects like this. So if your object is not coming over, you might need to rasterize it. So turn it into an object that is able to come over. So I'm not sure if this blur will come over to animate, and it probably will not. So, but what you can do is you can convert things into objects that are able to come over. So I would actually convert this into probably a object by rasterizing it. What that means is you convert it into a like a PNG or a JPEG or something like that, mostly a PNG because it has a transparency. So something like this, usually like a blur like this, will not come over to an animation program. But if you wanted to keep things like this, again, the way you would do it is by going underneath the object and say rasterize. What that does is it will create it into a bitmap. Basically, it makes it into a bitmap. And if I say rasterize transparent background and say okay, it converted this into an object. Now this is not seen as a vector anymore. It's seen as a as like a picture, like a bitmap, JPEG. So I'm going to delete these if I can. Go away, delete, and then I would duplicate this. There we go. And then let's put these all on their own layer so we can animate them if we want. And make a new layer. And we'll call it clouds. Clouds. And then paste. Okay, that's enough stuff. So again, if you want to animate anything, it kind of needs to be on its own layer. In this case, in order to move it, it needs to be something called a symbol in Flash, or we don't call it Flash anymore, in Adobe Animate. You can actually tell these to be symbols before you bring them over to the Flash program. To do that, you select your, in this case, this bunny right here, and I'm going to go underneath Window, Symbols. Symbols are already open. Here they are. And I'm going to say New Symbol. So I select my object, go to where it says New Symbol, and give it a name. This is going to be Bunny. This is Bunny 1. Hopefully it's Bunny 1. And you want to make it what's called a movie clip. And as you can see right here, the word is called movie clip right here. In order to do that, that will make it animatable. If that's a word, I guess it is a word. This object will now be animatable in the Flash program. Oh, can't make it a symbol until you expand appearance. Whoosh. Okay.
So to make the rabbit animatable, what do you do?
Again, I have the rabbit. I'm gonna go. It said I had to expand it first. Expand it. Then I'm gonna go to where it says symbol, and I'm gonna make it a new symbol, and I'm gonna call it Bunny 1. And I'm going to do the same thing with this other bunny. Do this one too. Again, I'm going to expand it, and then go under the symbol, new symbol, and this is going to be Bunny 2. Same. These are already symbols, so I'm not sure if I have to make these symbols again. Just make sure they're all in their own layer. Flowers. And then what else were we going to animate? Oh, the clouds. Clouds are already objects. I don't know if I can make them into a symbol. I'm not going to worry about those right now. So let's go and animate. So again, right now, again, anything that is in movement needs to be in its own layer. So when I bring this into the animation program, you'll see the layers just as they are here, and they will be named the same way. So make sure you name them the way you want them named. Okay? So name them and so on. So to save it, I'm going to save it as an Illustrator file. This is going to be my Google Doodle. And save it as Illustrator is fine. And leave all the default settings is fine. Then I'm going to go over to the Adobe Animate. It's called Adobe Animate. And I'm going to make an artboard in this program, just like I made the artboard inside of Illustrator. You can do the same thing if you go under File, New, inside this program, just like you would in Illustrator to make an artboard. You can then put in what size you want. I'm going to put in, like I said, the 1920 by 1080, which is the size. There's also something called frame rate. It's how fast it will animate. Traditional animation is at 24 frames a second. traditional movies at 24 frames a second, but of course television, what we used to call traditional television, was at 30 frames a second. And so when you see the FPS, that stands for frames per second. And so if you want something to go slower, you can reduce the frame rate. If you want something to go faster, you can increase the frame rate. I'm going to leave the default right now, and we can go and change this later after we start putting things together. Once we have our artboard, I'm going to import that Illustrator file into this program. To import it, I go under File, Import, and I'm going to say Import Right to Stage. What that means is it's going to take all the artwork and put it right on the stages, that big white area you see there. So it's going to bring it in and put it right there, ready to animate. So again, I'm going to go under File, Import to Stage. It's go and find your Illustrator file wherever you saved it. I have no idea where I saved it. Oh, here it is, right in the middle there. And I'm going to say Open. And it's going to ask me a bunch of questions. Okay, so it's going to say, what do you want to do? Well, the first thing it says, maintain editable paths and effects, which is good. I want that to be editable, which means I can change it. If you say single flat bitmap, it'll convert it into like a PNG and just slap it there, and you won't be able to animate. Text conversion, it doesn't matter. We've already converted our text to an object, right? So there is no text here, so it doesn't really matter. The most important one is down here, how you animate. There's a couple different ways to animate things in this program. Right now I'm going to bring it in as the default, which says animate layers, but there's another way that you can do an animation where, let's say you wanted to draw something kind of moving without, and what you could do is you could make it in different layers and then have it come in. I can do an example.
So you just move it around.
Yeah, let's just, this way, the way I built it is this way right here. So I'm going to leave the default here. Down here where it says keyframes is another way of doing it, and I can give a demo of that after I'm done with this one real quick. So we're almost done. Believe me, it's not that hard. I'm just going to animate layers right here. I'm going to leave the default. Boom. It'll bring it in. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see it, and let's close this. And so again, this is the way it sees it. You'll notice that in an animation program, there is all the layers that I have made it inside of Illustrator. These things in this program are called frames. You'll notice it starts with a number 1. As you animate, as you play the animation, this little thing right here is called a playhead. It starts traveling down the timeline at 24 frames a second. So it would go from here to here within 1 second. Okay, so it starts traveling. It's not moving now because I have nothing down here. So the first thing we want to do is, of course, hide our bunnies. So I'm going to take my first bunny here, and I'm going to drag him down so you can't see him. He's below there. And the second bunny, I'm going to drag him down so you can't see him below there. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate him out for about 1 second. So I'm going to go out to 24. And I'm going to hit what's called a keyframe, which is a different moment in time. So the different moment in time is F6 on the keyboard. So if I hit F6, it makes a different moment in time. Now notice you don't see anything, everything disappeared. The reason why you don't see anything is because the only thing that's in 24 right now is just this one bunny. The clouds aren't in there, the background's not in there, just the one bunny. Then I'm going to move him up a little bit at 24. Same with this other bunny. I'm going to click right here and I'm going to hit F6 on the keyboard, and I'm going to move him up there. Then the blue mask is going to be not moving, so I can hit an F5. If it's not moving, you hit F5. If it's moving, you hit F6. Oops, these bunnies might need to be a little, we'll have to put the text on there. Let's put the text in there. Text isn't going to move. I'm going to hit F5 there. Boom. Yeah, we can bring our bunnies up a little bit more. Let's bring them up a little bit more. There he is. He's cute. And let's bring this one up. He's cute. So again, these are moments in time at 24 where the bunny is. And then, of course, my clouds, we want to animate those. We want them to move a little bit. So let's put an F6 there, and we can move those. Let's move them just a slight bit over here. And then the flowers, they're going to move a little bit. So I'm going to hit F6 on that one. And then let's just scale them somehow. Let's scale them. I'm going to use, there is a scale tool here, right here, and I should be able to scale them. skew them, rotate them. What do I want to? I want to scale them. There we go. We'll get them to flip. How about that? We'll get them to flip, so they'll flip around. So the flowers will flip around, and then of course the background's not going to move. I'm just going to hit F5 for that, and we're ready to animate. So again, how you do animation in either here or even After Effects is you have 2 moments in time. Again, the first one is here, second one is here. First one is here, second one is here. Now we need to tell the program to calculate the in-between parts, because again, the bunnies, you see them there, you don't see them here. So what we want to do is we want to tell the computer to calculate all, instead of the bunnies, we're going to move up. It'll put different points in time. To do that, you actually click on the first one. You right-click on the first one, and you say Create Classic Tween. Don't use this one here. That's a little more complicated. I do it the old way. This is the old way. So I say Create Classic Tween, and what it'll do is, as you can see, one bunny will come popping up. Oh, there he is. See him pop up, because the computer's calculating, and you can see the little line here. It's calculating. And I could do the same thing for the second bunny. Create Classic Tween, and now they're both coming up. And then of course we need to do the flowers are flipping. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to right click and say Create Classic Tween there, and you'll see that, oh, they didn't flip. I don't think I can do that. That didn't work. That didn't work. It didn't work. So flipping them around didn't work. Let's flip them back. I don't know why. Oh, they flip. I think there was just a problem with that. I think because I did it 100%, it didn't think it needed to flip. But there they go, they flip. And then of course the clouds are moving a little bit, so we're going to do Create Classic Tween there. And so the clouds move a little bit. There we go. And so that's, basically you're making moments in time, and you're telling it to the computer to calculate the in-between ones. And again, saving it out of Illustrator with all the different layers involved, just like you see it there. And
if you put bunny 2 at like 35 seconds, it would go at a different rate? It would go slower?
No, the frame rate is the same. Is that what you mean? The frame rate 24? It's going to be the same for everything. You can't adjust each one separately. It's for the frame rates for the entire object. So and so what this program does is it exports out as a HTML5, which is a new way of animating. Before that, we'd have to use the Flash plugin and blah, blah, blah. Right now, if we just go and save this, I'm going to save it first as a working file, bunny working. And to export it out as HTML5, you go under File, Export, and you're going to export, or no, you're going to publish, I'm sorry. You're going to go into Publish Settings, and let's see, it's going to write some JavaScript. It's going to write some HTML. It's going to loop it, so once it goes to the end, it'll start again, and so on. So there's a bunch of options underneath here. You might need to go through and look at them. It's going to do all kinds of different things. And once we say publish, it's going to go and publish it. No? Is it doing something? I did say publish, didn't I?
So it's generating all the JavaScript.
It's generating all the stuff for it. Let's see, it probably put it in the documents folder where I saved it. Yeah, here it is. And you'll notice it gives you an HTML file, it gives you a JavaScript file, and then it gives you a folder called images with all the artwork that you have. So if I double click on the HTML file that it generates, you'll see your bunny. Hopefully, no, it didn't work. That's not good. Oh, something's happening. No. No. That's not good. It didn't like it. Why not? Let's open in Firefox. There it is. It's too big for the screen. There we go.
Now, does the movement have to be linear, or can it be circular?
You can do circular. You can do all kinds of things. Yeah. So the possibilities are endless. I just did some crappy artwork kind of fast. But of course, you could spend a couple hours making beautiful artwork and animate them with Illustrator. So another way of doing an animation with Illustrator is not to make, well, you are going to make separate layers, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time. Let's do another animation where let me think how I could demonstrate this. Well, we could do a really quick. I'm going to do a stick figure walking. Okay, stick figure walking. So I'm basically going to draw a stick figure. There's a little head, little eyes. Oops. And we'll have an arm. Arm that side over there. You can't see too much. And of course we have a leg. One leg there. One leg straight. There we go. Stick man. One leg out, one leg straight. Then I'm going to make a new layer and draw him again in a different position. And of course, one leg back, and then arm down a little bit, maybe this arm up a little bit, I don't know. Another layer, draw my stick guy again. His eyes are getting crazy. His arm's down by the side. His other arm's up in the air. He's going nuts over here. Another, oh, this leg is pretty bad. And another layer. I'm doing this really quick and ugly, I know it. And then we'll get him to turn his head this way. Maybe his arm's going that way. He's an airplane guy here now. He's got legs going like this. Okay, whatever. If you knew how to draw a character, you can buy yourself a nice drawing book. Okay, but the key here is that they're all on different layers, as you can see here. So when I bring it into the program now, I'm going to do it a different way. In fact, let's put them kind of on top of each other a little bit more. So I'm going to kind of draw them a little bit closer together. Okay. So this time I'm going to, instead of, when I save this, we're going to save this as stick guy here. Stick guy. And I'm going to go back to my animation program. And again, it's 1920 by 1080. And let's get out of this. Okay. This time, when I import it, I'm going to import it as a symbol, as a movie clip. So this time I'm going to import it as kind of an object, and then I'm going to have it go down the timeline. So you see a little bit different importing. So I'm going to go under File, Import to Stage. We can put it on the stage, I guess. Let me think about this. And we want to do it. No, I'm going to cancel. What I want to do is I'm going to import this into a movie clip. So you notice I didn't make it a movie clip ahead of time inside of Illustrator. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Illustrator I want to make it a movie clip as I'm bringing it in. To do that, I'm going to go underneath Insert New Symbol in this program, and I'm going to give it a name. This is going to be Walking Guy. So again, I'm going to make it a movie clip before I import the artwork by going under Modify New Symbol. No, it was an Insert New Symbol, I think it was. Again, it's a movie clip, and I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to bring the walking guy into this area by going under File, Import, import to stage, and I'm going to now find my stick guy. There he is. And this time, instead of saying animate layers this way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say keyframes here. What that'll do is it'll take each drawing that was on different layers and it'll kind of spread it out horizontally so that they're in each individual frame. So that's why I'm going to do this one down here where it says keyframes here. It's going to take each layer and kind of put it down the timeline. So if I hit OK now, you'll notice it takes the stick guy, and if I might have to zoom out here so we can see him. It'll take it and you'll see he is like that. So you'll notice in frame 1 he's one way, in frame 2 he's a different way, in frame 3 is a different way, in frame 4 he's a different way. So this is a little bit different. Instead of it having to draw the layers and then animate them, I actually took the layers and kind of spread them out horizontally so that they are next to each other, and then I can loop this around. So I'm going to go back to the scene here because this is a symbol right here. You can see it's called walking guy. Remember that thing I made first was new symbol, and I put it in there. So I'm going to go back to the scene, and what I could do is take that walking guy and move him across the screen now by going into the library where he's stored. He's stored in something called the library, wherever that's at. Let's see, motion, no. It's in the thing called a library. There it is. And I can take him out. There he is. Oh, zoom out a little bit here. He's kind of big, isn't he? Zoom out. Oh, it's not too big. And I can now get him to move across the screen. I'm going to go all the way out here to maybe 80. And again, what was the magic key on the keyboard to make a keyframe? F6. So here's another moment in time. I'm going to move him on to all the way to the other side over here. And again, do you remember the classic tween? I can right click on here and say create classic tween. Now he'll animate. He'll look, well, he's not really walking very well because I didn't draw that very well. But what will happen is he'll cycle through that as he's moving through the down the timeline. So if I go and test this, I don't know, we're testing.
So every increment goes through all 4 iterations.
Yeah. So if I hit there, it should. No, I didn't test. How do I test? I don't know how to test. Where's testing? Oh, it's doing something. I think it did something. I saw a little wheel of. Oh, how do I preview? It's been such a long time. Play? No, that's not going to work. No, you need to preview it right. That's why you need to go and test a movie. You have to test it in a browser. Test. There we go. Now he's moving. There he is. So, of course, I didn't draw him walking very well. You could spend some time drawing walking. But again, what is happening is it's looping through those 4 things as it's moving across the screen. So you actually have 2 things animating right now. You have it looping through those those drawings that I did, as well as having it move across the screen here. And that's how we're doing it. So that's a different way of preparing your artwork in Illustrator. It's a little bit different because, again, the first way so this one, it takes these and puts them, that's why I kind of stacked them on top of each other so that they're all in the same position. And so it kind of stretched them out, right?
Could you have multiple objects instead of just the one man? Could you have a car also moving?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as long as it's on its own layer.
And you got to go deeper in animate.
Yeah. So we have our nice Google Doodle with some little animation using Adobe Animate, as well as a stick guy running across the screen. Preparing my artwork inside of Illustrator properly ahead of time was kind of the most important part of that. I don't know. Has anybody ever tried animation before?
No.
No?
I've got a consultant at home, my grandson.
Oh, there you go. I mean, it could be a lot of fun. I've been using Flash since the 90s. Since 96, 97, I started Flash.
So do we have any homework assignments for this?
So I want you to make a doodle. You don't have to animate it, but you should you should practice your drawing. And so if you go, I posted some things on Canvas, didn't I? How do I get to Canvas? I don't even know. West Valley.
Is the Animate a separate software?
Adobe Animate comes with the suite. Yes. If you got the Adobe suite, you have Adobe Animate. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would imagine.
Try.
So on Canvas, I do have, I want you to practice your doodle, Google Doodle. You don't have to animate. It's okay. If you want to try the animation, though, you can watch the video and see if you can figure it out. I know I did it kind of fast, but there's a lot of really fun things you can do. So if we go down here to, where are we at? What is today? April something, isn't it? Oh, here it is. Lesson 10, week of April 10th. Is that today? Here it is, Google Doodle.
Okay.
And so if you've never seen, you can read what doodles are. I don't know why this link doesn't work here. Why is this link not working? Let me make this link work.
What's another application for the, what would you use this for besides Google?
What's it?
Any web page you can use this for? What's another, why would you use this animation for another purpose?
If you wanted just to animate anything.
It's an attention grabber on a lot of ads. I know that.
Yeah, all those ads you see, right? Those
Aggravating ads.
There's ads on Yahoo. In fact, my a lot of my students back in the, like I told you, I think maybe around 2000, I had a bunch of students working for an ad company making ads for Google, and it's a good. There's plenty of jobs in that. There's even Yahoo. I know they just trying to sell themselves or whatever, trying to get out of, but there's jobs making ads. You just need. That's why there's a lot of presets. If you've never noticed inside of the program, even in Illustrator, if you notice, if you go under File, New, and you come under Profile, you'll go to Web. See that right there? If you go there and go down here to Size, oh no, it's not there. What is it? No, maybe not there. Maybe in Photoshop. Hold on. Photoshop. File, New. Web. No? I swear they had like pre-made sizes for the ads. I don't know. Whatever. Some programs, they have pre-made sizes already there for the ads. What was I going to demonstrate? I was demonstrating one last thing to you. Oh, we were looking at the Google Doodles, right? So again, you can look at a whole bunch of doodles, the history of the doodle. And then there's a video there about the Google Doodle team. These are the people that make the doodles.
How's my hair?
Do I just get to?
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Look directly to the camera. Angle. Yeah. Seduce them with my eyes.
Hey there, I'm Nat. Hello. Earlier this summer, we made 2 videos about how 2 very different Google Doodles were created. If you're interested and you haven't seen them yet, the links are in the video description below. But before we filmed those, we asked what you wanted to know about the Google Doodles. You gave us a ton of questions, and here now are a bunch of doodlers with their answers to your questions.
What inherent qualities do you all think makes for a good doodle?
A good story. I think that's the heart of what we're trying to do.
We want to inspire curiosity.
We really want to kind of tickle different parts of the user's brains. One day it's about dance, one day it's about science, one day it's about pop culture, another day it's about a national holiday.
What was the inspiration behind the first ever doodle?
Back in the day when Google was a very young company, the 2 founders were going out of office, and they thought a fun way to sort of do an out of office message was to put a little Burning Man emblem behind one of the O's.
I remember that.
Something kind of cool and symbolic about that is it literally was like a person behind the logo. The reaction was so positive that we were able to then start a whole program. The early doodles were 1 letter replacement, but then it was celebrating individuals that were really cool, expanding internationally. And then why not an animation? Well, it's on the internet, it's interactive. Why not a game? Why not a video? Why not something you can put on your phone?
I remember that one.
Are there debates on who/what will be featured?
Annually, we do a pitch session where doodlers can pitch whatever they want. We have Googlers from the world submitting ideas.
There might be 2 things we want to do on the same day, and so we have to decide which one of those we want to do that year. So it might be a nice round number, 50th anniversary or something that wins out, and we'll save the next one.
It's not just oh, boom, I made a doodle and it's done. There's a lot of baby steps in there. Does each doodler
Look like
specialize
my
in a
doodle.
certain style?
I think that everyone sort of has their own specialty.
I like when I get the chance to be atmospheric.
painterly.
A lot of my work is really flat, using limited palettes.
We have several animators. Bouncy. I like making everything really bouncy. We have people who are great with Flash.
I build the interactive doodles. We on the team can often recognize, like, Kevin did that doodle. Oh, I bet Olivia did that one, I can tell. But we all strive to actually kind of mix up the art styles that we work in and try new things.
Where does your inspiration come from for each doodle?
My answer is sadly a little corny, but it's the truth. Like, I think kind of everything can be inspired.
Okay, I'm not going to sit through the whole thing, but you can watch that Google Doodle video. Fun, fun, fun. I did post some other things on there for this week. But of course, we're doing a critique next class for your thing. But I think there is, where are we at again? February, March, April. Here's some videos of me doing other animations. This is a bird flying. You can watch that. Bird flying demonstration. Kind of the same thing with the walking guy, but the bird's flapping his wings, and it cycles through the flapping as it goes across the screen. So you can watch those ones. So I have some other ones. This one talks a little bit about how to prepare your artwork for special effects, I believe. Yeah. It's a link to there. Let's see what else. Oh, file format export, what is in here? This talks about going from Photoshop to Illustrator and Illustrator to Photoshop, just like what you saw with my bunny today. Remember, I took the picture and cut the bunny out and brought it in. So there's different ways of doing that. So that you can watch these videos. They talk about how to go back and forth between Illustrator and Photoshop. And what's under business info, there's some things about copyright. Making sure you don't steal like I did. I stole a bunny and I put it in my Google Doodle. I would probably be sued, probably. Okay. And so these are some readings about copyright. This is a reading about how to make a contract. If you were going to work for somebody, you might want to have yourself a little contract so that you... I've done work for people that didn't have a contract and they didn't pay me. So just beware. So that's what these things are. Here's a way to write a proposal, some nice graphic arts things. So that's what was in there. You can read that on your own. Any questions so far? Okay, if you want to try the animation, please.